What's up everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel Let's Build It. And in today's video we are going to learn about the localizable string dictionaries. In my previous video I have shown you how you can use the localizing strings in your application, how you can localize all your string files into multiple languages. But in this video I'm going to show you how you can perform some operations like where you want to perform some rules like plural rules, where you want to add like apostrophe as at the end of some strings. Like you are selecting one file, for example you are selecting one file, it should say one item, and if it is more than one file then it should say more items, here 2 items, 3 items, like items, as appending the s at the end of your string file. And if you want to show something like if there is no file selected, suppose you have selected the 0, so it should say 0 items, no item selected. So in this video I'm going to cover all these things, like how you can do these things very easily using the localizable dictionaries. Like I searched many sites for these things, but I didn't find any tutorial, or maybe if tutorials are available they are very outdated. So I decided to make a video on this. Many developers are facing this difficulty, like how they can do this if they are using the localizing in their applications. Okay, so and one more thing, if you haven't watched my last video in which I show you how you can use the localization in your application, it's very simplest approach. So I will suggest you to go in my last video. I will add my video description in the description, and also you can click on the card that is appearing on the video right now. Okay, and please do not forget to like and subscribe my channel, because it helps me to grow my channel, it helps me to create more tutorials like this, and people are getting help from my videos, so please do subscribe. Alright guys, so I have created this project here. We are going to use this storyboard file. So let me quickly add some labels and buttons here. So first thing I want to have here is maybe we can use a stepper here. Let me put it here, so we can increase and decrease the number by clicking on it. We will need a label also, on which we will show the text according to the localization. Okay, let me give it a constraints 60, 60, 90, and height should be maybe 25. Alright, and for the stepper it should be 20 pixel bottom from the label, width and height should be fixed, and it should be centered aligned horizontally. Okay, and we will need to have some action while clicking on this stepper. So we will create an IB action here. Stepper changed like this, and value will be your stepper. Okay, now let me quickly print the value. Sender dot step value. So here the value should be 0 at initial, minimum will be 0, and maximum is 100. So we can set it to 10 because we are not going to this far, and I'm setting the steps to 1. So each time I click on the plus button, it will increase the value by one value. Okay, So it should run like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, and same for the minus stepper. It will decrease the value by 1. Okay, so let me quickly run it so we can see if it is working or not. Yeah, 1 2 3 4, you can see in the debugger area it is printing the values correctly, and it will go up to 10, and same for the minus. Okay, so now I need to have some localization for this example tutorial. Let me take an example. Like, suppose you are creating an application which you are going to choose some files from your local iPhone storage, or maybe you are selecting some images. Okay, so what you are going to show on your UI, it is like selected one image or selected two images and so on. If you are not selected, you have not selected any images, so it should show like no image selected. Okay, so for the 0 count it should show no image selected. For the count 1 it should show one image selected, and for the more than one images it should show the count number, like 2 images selected, 3 images selected. Okay, so this is our motto for this tutorial that we are going to implement. So for that I am going to click on this project name, then you will click the project name here, then you will go to localization, and wait a second, first you need to right click on here and click on the new file, then you scroll down and you will see the string file is for the localization, the normal localization that I have shown you in the my previous video. You can check that in my previous video. I have attached the its video URL in my description of this video. Okay, and for the plural rules we are going to use the strings.dict file. Okay, so click next, and as I mentioned in my last video, it should be localize localizable, this name. Please make sure it is the same exact spelling. If you have misspelled it, or you have given another name, so it might not work. Okay, so make sure it is the exact spelling for your file as well. Okay, click on the create, so it will create a localizable string dict. Okay, now go on this and click the localizing, and I would like to have the Spanish localization in my file, so it will come here. Why it is not showing the localizable string? Okay, you have to click the localize file also, then it will appear in the localizing strings. So when I click on the Spanish, now you can see it is appearing here. So I don't want to localize the main storyboard and launch file, so I will uncheck them, and I will keep the localizable string dict file checked. Then I will click the finish button. Now you can see the arrow. So we have the two subfiles here, one for English and another for Spanish. Okay, so yeah, so what we are going to do here, it is the like syntax of this variable, like what variable we are going to localize here. Okay, so suppose we are choosing the images, so I will use the key images and image, and I will also change it here. Okay, and you have to like change this thing also, localized string key. It is the key that we are going to use in the localizable string in our code. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I will create a unique key, suppose common dot images dot count, or images count, yeah. All right, so this thing will be remain same, and here you are going to use the formatter, so I will use the u. Okay, and these are the keys. It is by default defined, so you can use your own string here, like for the zero images what you should show on your screen for the user, for the one what should be here, and two, few, many, and others. So you can define your own string also, like 2, 3, 4. And if you want to just localize for 0, 1, and 2, and for the left remaining string, you it will comes to other only. Okay, so for the 0, suppose I want to show no image selected. For the 1, I will show one image selected, or maybe we can just show this. The rest of the string we can localize in the normal localized file. Okay, one image, two images, and for the others it should show the count of images, and then this string whatever we are passing while using this dictionary. Okay, so it will print that count here and then images. Okay, so right now I am going to show you with the English only. So after it will run successfully, we will make the Spanish localization here. All right, so let me create a localizing string first here. So it should be item, or maybe image count, or let it be image, and ns localized string key here, and the comment. So the key should be this one, so we will copy and paste it here. Localize image, we can change it to localize image, that makes more sense. Localize image. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is uh, I will use this localize image key with the localize string with formatter. So I think we haven't create the IB outlet for this label. Okay, we will do it later. First let me create a localized, or maybe formatted text. Then we will use string dot localize string with format, this one, and we will pass here the localize image key, and argument will be the count. So we will send the sender dot value, and I think we should use the integer value. Maybe it will not work for the localized dictionary, so let's try directly with it. So I am going to print it here, formatted text. Now let me try to run it. So now it should print for the one count, it should print one image, and for the other count it should show the count number and the images as a last string. So for the initial value it is printing no image, this is correct. Now if I click 1, it is saying no image for everything. and this is because I think we haven't used the integer value here. So let me convert it to integer first. Let value equal to sender dot value, and I'm going to unwrap it as a integer value. Let's try to pass it here. Now let's see what it will print. Alright, so it is printing one image, 2 images, 3 images, 4 images, and if I go back again, so one image, and if I click the minus again, so it will pass the 0, and for the 0 it is printing the no image. So that is working absolutely fine. That is what we are required for this. Okay, so it is working fine. The same thing we can do for the Spanish thing. What you have to do, just copy this thing here, change the variable name, change the key name. Okay, it should be same. What you have to do here is only you have to translate the strings that we are going to use for Spanish. So I'm going to use the translator. So first string is no image. No image will be pronounced in Spanish. I think we are using the Spanish, right? Yeah. So for the Spanish, here it is, the Spanish. So we will copy this text here and print it, paste it here. Sorry, not here. We'll paste it here. Then we will copy the one image text. Then go to here and paste it here in the Spanish key. Then I will copy the 2 images. I will go to Spanish and paste it here. And for the last thing, %u images, or maybe we should remove this, and we will type it here, %u and images. Alright, so let me change my simulator language to Spanish. Where is Spanish? Here it is. Change to Spanish. It will reboot your simulator, and if you are using the actual device, it will reboot your actual device also. Then it should show something like 1 image, 2 images, 3 images. Yeah, it is working fine in the Spanish also. Now let me quickly add the IB outlet here, so it will be printed on the storyboard instead of the console. Label count. So we will use it here. Label count dot text equal to formatted text. So if I going to run it, it should print all the things on this label. So if I click on the minus, it is not working because we have set it to 0 and it is already set to 0 at the initial level. So if I click on the plus button, it increases it to 1 and it is printing corresponding value, 1 in the Spanish, 2 images and 3, 4 and so on up to 10. And if I go back to 0, so no images, for it is printing sin images for the 0 count. Okay. Alright guys, so this is it for the today's tutorials, and I hope it helps you a lot, because I saw many developers are struggling with it, and they use like general conditions, if else and switch conditions for all these things, like showing matching the count number with the 1 0 1 2 3 and then deciding what it should print. But for the one language, it can be like it can be used for the single language. But if you are dealing with multiple languages, if like if you are having 6 to 7 languages or more than that languages for your application, so it will create your application very bulky, and there will be lots of conditions in your application. So this is the very easy way to localize all these kind of conditions for the count and the plural rules. Okay, so I prefer these things, and I found I saw many people are not getting these kind of tutorials on the internet. I tried to search on the internet, but I didn't find. And if I found some tutorials, they are already very outdated. So I decided to create this tutorial. I hope it will help you, and please do not forget to subscribe my channel. Please like it, share it, and comment your valuable feedback in my comment section. Okay, so I will get back to you soon in my next video. I am going to create a video, or maybe on database, because I have lots of query about the database tutorials. People are asking me to create some tutorials on these topics. I have few more topics like MVVM, coordinator pattern, dispatch group, currency format and number formatters in my queue. So I will create all these tutorials one by one. So stay tuned with my channel and keep supporting. Thank you so much.